here I am with the Loupedeck. I programmed this so when I click on the program, it changes. I don't know if you saw that. I have this for this button program to copy, this button program to paste, this one to clone, and this one to undo the color tag. So the rest I'll explain as I go. The first thing I did was use Photo Mechanic to basically tag the ones I'm gonna use and the ones I'm gonna edit. And I go through it super quick. So not all the ones that I tagged are going to be edited because some of them shouldn't have been tagged. So once I do that, I put it into Capture One. I go to choosing the red only, which will start with this one. So let's say we started with this one. Now I made a custom style. I call it base. This is, look at what it does. All it did was add a little bit of contrast, a little bit of shadows. That's all it did. But here I'm gonna adjust. So here I'm gonna turn the exposure down. You can see with each click, right now it's at -3. Do it one more time, -4. You see the responsiveness. This one is for the highlights. And I'll bring down the shadows. Bring down the color temperature. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Maybe, let's see, bring down the tint a little bit, see what happens. Yeah, I like that. Copy that, paste it. It took a second. So you'll notice the difference. The first photo looks pretty good. This one looks the same. It's the same photo. So maybe I'll turn this one into a black and white. Go to the next one. See, I undo the color tag because it was the same kind of, it just took 3 photos all at once. I tend to do that. So I'm gonna just raise the exposure up a little bit. Copy that, paste it onto that. And I don't do this to every photo, but I mean, look how long it takes you to make a whole other file. Now it's black and white. If they like it black and white, then they have it. If they don't have to download it. Lower the shadows. So I'm just gonna go through this real quick. Copy, paste, paste. No, he's not even looking at the camera, so I'll get rid of that. Now I'll paste it here. There's a slight delay sometimes, like when you copy something and you paste it, it takes a half a second, a full second maybe. I can change the settings. Maybe there was a cloud that came over. Maybe I moved a little bit and the sun flare is hitting the lens a little bit more. There's all kinds of things that can happen. I've gotten to the point where, look, I'm gonna make sure I deliver all the photos that I like, which I tend to like a lot, and I haven't really had any complaints from people about there being too many photos. And so I kind of tell people beforehand, this is what I do, this is what you'll get, and they all tend to really appreciate that. So right here is back focusing, and he's kind of looking weird. All right, see, I got rid of all those. I didn't edit any of those. So I keep going. Right now I'm just gonna shut up and do this. I'm gonna start talking again. Do you guys ever edit pictures and then decide to go back on what you just did to make sure it is what you liked? I do that a lot. I don't know. Like, I second guess myself, but I think these are fine. These are good. Like sometimes I think maybe the exposure was a little too high. Maybe I should have added a little bit of contrast. And right now my eyes are kind of tired, I guess. So maybe I shouldn't be editing. I should go take a shower and just like wake up completely. But I look at this sometimes and I'm like, damn, maybe I need to go to the eye doctor again. But last time I went, he told me it was because my eyes are just tired, but I have really good vision. I forget what it was. I'm pretty sure it was 20/20. But right now they feel a little tired, so I second guess myself and I go back and I add a little contrast. That happens to me every once in a while. Can anybody relate to that? Does that happen to anybody else? Let me start talking again. The way this Loupedeck works with your editing flow is that the Loupedeck doesn't replace your mouse. It works in conjunction with it, especially because this Loupedeck, see, look right here, there's dog poop. So this button I programmed so that I can crop. There's a button right there. Saves you a little bit of time having to go over here and push crop. You can just push a button and keep going. This photo, there's more sun flare going on, so the white balance is going to change a little bit. The exposure is going to change a little bit. I tend to get the sun flare a little bit. Just look right here, copy and paste. Didn't do that the first time. So right here, there's no sun flare. So what I'll do is I'll copy this one over here and go over here and paste it. It looks like it's a little too much contrast. Maybe I can. Yeah, so what I was saying, this Loupedeck, it's not supposed to replace your mouse. It works in conjunction with it. All this is doing is making it so that you can get to certain things faster, like copy and paste, like crop, like clone variant, draw mask, erase mask, zoom in, zoom out, reset, rotation straighten, which I hardly ever use. I've never used it actually. How does that work? I don't know what just happened. Maybe it was already straight. What happened to pushing that? I don't know. I don't know why I put rotation straight in there. These knobs, this is for temperature. This one is for exposures. This one is for contrast. This one is for the highlights, the shadows, and the tint. It just gives you a way to do both. And if you're really good at it, you can change two at the same time. So the contrast can go down and the shadows can go up at the same exact time. So once you get good at using this, it works. This knob here, there's two settings, rotate image and structure. Rotate image, you can pretty much, see, rotate, rotate, rotate. But I'll paste the settings from the last one. It's good to go. Paste. Oh, see what happened? I pasted it, but nothing happened. Copy, paste. That kind of happens every once in a while and it's super annoying. You just kind of have to go slow. Copy, paste. And I know when I say go slow, it's like counterintuitive to, it's counter what you want it to be because you bought this to go faster. And it is faster. But in the context of like using this, just know that you can't be like pushing buttons and it just registers right away, especially the copy and paste. So look at the paste that I'm going at. Copy, paste. That pasted and it takes like half a second. Paste. Man, that's more than half a second. That's like a full second. Alright, let me go ahead and speak some more. I copied the settings from that, paste it onto that. Like, paste it onto that. It's virtually the same as the previous one. So turn it into black and white. Paste it onto that. The settings should all be the same. The light should all be the same. So it should all be good, you know? Paste it onto that. that. Clone that one. Make it into a black and white. His eyes are closed, I'll get rid of it. Paste it onto that one. Good. I think he's like talking right there. Her eyes look, she's looking at me. Good. Good. I'll clone that one. Make it into a black and white. Paste that. That one's almost the same. I'll take that one, even though it's almost the same. I'll get rid of that. It's doing like a spin. A lot of these are going to be misses, I think. Let's check it out. Let me just... So it changed from one setting to the next. So things like the white balance and the exposures can change. Everything else, maybe the shadows will change too, but everything else will be pretty much the same. So let's see. Paste it. It took a while. Let's see how long it takes. I'm gonna push paste. We should time it. I say that was a second, right guys? Clone that. The cloning one happens right away. It's the pasting that takes a while. Get rid of that, get rid of that, paste it. Get rid of that. Paste it. I don't know if I like that. I'll get rid of it. Get rid of that. It is kind of hard to turn gracefully on dirt with a flowy dress like that. So I don't know if this was my most successful spin shot, but it looks alright. It looks nice. I'm having a good time. Okay, so I'm gonna shut up again. We are again. I went back and looked at these. These are good. These are all good. I stopped right here. All right, copy that. Copy that. Paste that. The contrast is a little too high. Maybe the blacks. I do, okay, look, you saw me go through my mouse and the mouse. There's 4 tabs. So if you push on 2, and you click on that, if you push on 2, or is it 3? Yeah, 3. No, 2. Where is it? Here it is. It was 3. Sorry. I have it, these other ones labeled black, bright, saturation, clarity, noise reduction, rotate. So I'm just gonna lower the blacks a little bit. But I'm gonna go back to number 2 for my main usage. Copy those, paste that. Rather than pushing 3 and messing with the other settings that I have programmed, I usually just go from my mouse. It's easier than going to the 3rd and the 4th page. This would be cooler, I think, if it had even more buttons, like another row, like, you know, or more wheels. Of course, that would be a really big thing. If this whole thing was wheels, like give me like 8, 9 wheels and like a few buttons, that would be cool, because the wheels are the ones that you end up using the most. Copy that. Here, I'll go back over here and I'll lower the blacks a little bit more. Maybe I'll go back to the page 2, lower the shadows, copy that, paste that. copy, paste, well, just paste. Wait for it to take effect. Turn that into a black and white. Paste it. Yeah. Got rid of that. Up the exposure a little bit, yeah, a little bit less. I don't know if you've noticed too, but I'm giving a lot of photos, and I keep saying that throughout all my videos, but I tend to give a lot of black and whites, and I think now you can really see what I mean about giving a lot of photos when I edit these. Like, they're gonna end up with hundreds of photos, and some people would be like, that's too many. I probably could have done this in half the time if I don't have to look through each one. If I spent a little bit more time during the culling section, I wouldn't have to look at all these shots. But I'm okay with it. You may not be okay with that, and you may want to do something a little different to not have to look at each photo. Which, by the way, I'm not looking at each photo. I'm looking at each photo that I culled through. So like I said, I could have done a better job of culling. That way you don't have to look at them. But I try to give variety. You can tell that I'm zooming in and out, right? Like, same exact shot as that, except all I did was zoom into that. And I think that gives you a whole other photo, which it does. It's not that I think, it actually does. Look, I pushed paste and it didn't take effect. I'm pushing paste and nothing. So copy, paste, and it should do it. Why it does that, I don't know. That's annoying. Paste, paste, paste it. It's all good. The settings are all the same. Turn that into a nice black and white. These might be different. Let's see. Does it look the same as that? Yeah, I would say so. Maybe a little too lower the white balance a little bit. Come on. Alright, there you go. Which lens am I using? 42 millimeters. Oh, I'm mostly using the 24 to 70. I hardly ever use that lens. I'm surprised I brought it. Oh, you saw there's like a bug on there or something, or flying past the. I don't like those pictures. I hardly ever do them. These are not normally the pictures I like. I don't like to get in like this. I like using my 70 to 200, 50 mil and up. But I'm trying to break out of the norm that I'm used to and using the lenses that I normally don't use to try and get something different going on. Can anybody relate to that? Where they're used to shooting a certain way, they're used to using a certain lens, and they force themselves to use a different lens to try and get something different. That's where I'm at right now. Trying to get more wider focal lengths into my shots. Like this one. This one was shot as 24. I keep having to rotate it because I must have shot it at something of a skew. I don't know how many of you, can you guys comment or message me? But if you comment, I think that helps the video. How many of you use the 24-70 lens? Like, it's probably my least used lens, and I remember that was the first lens I bought that I thought was like a professional lens. It had the weight, it had, you know, it's just sharp. But now that I'm using primes, with the exception of the 70-200, man, those primes are like super sharp. I love using them. And this one's not bad. Like, I really like the 24-72. It's just, I keep not using. I have contemplated selling it, but I know that once I sell it, I'm going to miss it. So I have a hard time letting go. Change. Alright, so I copied the settings from here to here, which doesn't quite work because it's a different scenario. So I have to adjust it. First I'm gonna rotate it a little bit, lower the contrast or up the exposure a little bit, maybe the shadows, bring a little more in. And really what I should have done is just lower the white balance. And I do everything by eye. Like, what do I see that I like? Did I like that? I like that. So, and this is very subjective. So some people like warmer, some people like cooler. I actually tend to be more in the cooler, but I'm forcing myself to go more to the warmer side of it. People like to look like they have a little bit of a tan going on, right? They don't want to be like pale. That looks good. I have this button here that says undo. I'll push it and it undoes getting rid of the mark. This one I skipped over because not only is it close to the last one, but I don't like this leaving just a tiny bit of space above their heads like that. I feel like there should be a little bit more. Undo the tag, paste it onto here. That looks good. Clone it. Let me go back to that. I think the dress can be a little darker. There we go. Okay, I think that I have enough. Okay, now she looked over there. Okay, good.